Just for a second, it's the only time I'll ever say this, is just forget about story right now. You're so early on your journey that worrying about scripts and casts and story and themes and all that, it's just gonna take your eye off of making a good image, finding a good frame, composing a shot. Let's start there, baby steps. You eat an elephant one bite at a time. Composing a shot is something you may hear often, whether it's find your frame or work on your composition. This is advice that is overlooked simply because it sounds boring or they don't fully understand it. When you hear the term find your frame, all that really means is to make sure everything on your camera screen has good composition. Sounds great, but what's a good example? Say you have a toddler on the floor playing with his toys, right? The easy way to film, and how most people do it, is just have the camera at eye level, looking down at the toddler, filming. Oh, it looks great. You're capturing memories. Everybody's having a grand time, right? Why don't you want to film this way? It looks amateur, like someone just picked a camera up, pointed at a toddler, and hit record. Is there a place for this? Absolutely. Found footage films all use the aspect that someone was just vlogging and happened to stumble across some satanic witch in a cottage somewhere, right? It works for this style because the director wants you to be in the POV, the point of view of the main character, so that you are experiencing it just as the main character is experiencing. Some of it's not the best cinematography, right? It don't look like some grand mountain range or some cliffs of Dover somewhere in whatever country that's in. It don't look like that, but it doesn't need to. Most found footage handheld is, you get sick anyway. But there's a time and a place for it, and it works for those movies because it adds a sense of urgency, a sense of uncertainty to your film. If you're wanting your videos to feel more like a movie, then let's go back to the toddler we were talking about. Instead of picking up the camera and just hitting record, let's find the frame. First, put it on the floor. This does two things. It puts us in the toddler's world. As adults, we don't see the world from the floor, so putting the camera on the floor pulls us out of reality. The second thing it does is gives us a natural depth of field. With the toddler in focus, parts of the foreground of the floor is out of focus, and it gives us leading lines right to the toddler. So with that natural focus fall off, it strengthens our overall image. Now let's talk about composing the shot. We found our frame, right? We have the camera on the floor, we got the perspective we want. Now let's compose a shot. Outside of filming, I'm a musician, and that's the best way I know how to talk about composition for this video. When I'm composing a song, I'm thinking about what will complement the main riff or melody. It could be a backup vocal, or it could be a little lick on the guitar in the background, but something to add a little bit of complexity to the overall melody and riff. It's no different when composing a shot for film. We have our subject, the main riff. Now what can we add to the shot? If it's a happy scene, maybe we add some light coming in the background through a window on the wall, and then maybe a toy just out of frame, slightly out of focus, but it's kind of peeking in there a little bit. It adds dimension. We've got out of focus up front, we have our subject in focus, and then the depth of the light coming in all gives us our composition. If our scene is a little more dramatic, maybe the light is cooler and the entire floor is bare. There's nothing there. It's just the toddler. It's all about context. And the beauty of this whole thing is it's entirely up to you. Your vision is what matters. Your vision is what you need to be pulling from when shooting. If you find yourself always looking and comparing to other people's work, you need to take a week off of social media and just go practice finding your frame. What was that? You have nothing to film? That what you just said? Here's 3 ideas right off the top of my head. Film the process of hanging a picture on a wall. 1. 2. Film yourself writing in a journal or a notebook or anything. 3. Film your backyard as if it's an opening scene to a Netflix show. There really is no excuse about not knowing what to film these days, especially when you can go download ChatGPT and it gives you unlimited ideas of what to do. Don't be lazy, be intentional. In fact, I challenge you the next 7 days, go out and make a 70-second film. That's it. Don't put so much pressure on you. Put your time limit in, 7 days, 70 seconds, right? Find something, doesn't matter what it is. This video here, my wife was laying down for a nap with my toddler and the kids were in school. I grabbed my camera, went and got in my car and just drove to the lake. I've been to the lake 1,000 times. I grew up here. What I gained from this experience was getting a different perspective. I took a couple roads that I've never been down before. I went and sat on the park just to sit on the park. I went and walked down Main Street. I went to City Harbor. All these places I've been numerous times, but I took my camera and I was intentional with my shots. I got establishing shots, I got close-ups, I got sweeping shots. I didn't get anything for drone because I didn't need it. I didn't want to burden myself down with so much gear and equipment I had to tote around. I just grabbed my tripod and my camera and took an hour and a half and went and filmed this. It's easy, you can do it. Work on being intentional with the way you find your frame. Like Stephen King always says, it never takes you long before you realize that sometimes days and weeks don't matter. Now, I don't know what that means, but maybe you do. Think about it.